Hey, it's Kevin. Thanks for coming by for another No BS social media chat. A lot of people are tense right now in the world of social media, talking about how social media is a bad thing, how social media is harming society, where it's bringing out the worst in people, and there is some truth to that. But what I've seen more importantly is people getting very emotional about topics. And what I want to talk about this week is about getting emotional on social media. And is it worth it? And we've touched on this subject before. This is one of those basic subjects, again, that we've talked about time and time again. But I think it's important to, well, stop, think, pause sometimes, because if you're trying to grow your brand, is being involved in emotional topics, is being emotional yourself going to help you in that case? For some people, it may. For some people, especially, let's say you're talking politics. If you're a talk show host, then yes, being emotional, being overly animated about certain topics are important to build your personal brand. But if you're trying to build a singing career, if you're trying to build a small business, if you're trying to, well, get the most amount of people in the door to make the most amount of money to be able to, meet whatever goal or need you want in life, is getting emotional going to help? A couple of weeks ago, we heard the whole story of Sarah Huckabee Sanders going into a restaurant, the Red Hen restaurant or something like that, in a nearby suburb of Washington, D.C., and being asked to leave because they didn't agree with her politics. I'm not going to debate on whether that's right, whether that's wrong, whether they should or shouldn't have done, but it triggered an emotional response in people. So my question is this: did you get involved in the discussion? Should you have gotten involved in the discussion? Should you be involved in hot topic emotional issues? And we're not just talking about sex and politics and religion and things like that, because again, those are hot button topics. And especially, I think right now, more so in my adult lifetime, I think, than ever before. I can't necessarily my lifetime if race relations are a hotter topic than they were, say, in the late 1960s, early 1970s. But I know for sure religion, politics, all very hot. But I mean, you figure, I've been through the Nixon Watergate hearings. And yes, things were emotional, but I didn't see people angry. That's when I really started getting into politics and really focusing on it. And I didn't see people as angry or as, well, emotional as they are right now. Now, a lot of that is driven by social media. People use social media in effect. They use to dramatize their points to get people to pay attention. They get a little bit more animated than what they should. They get to more extremes. We've learned this from people like talk show hosts like Rush Limbaugh, who Rush Limbaugh, in real life, well, yes, he's conservative, and while, yes, he's, a right-wing person, he's actually over-dramatizing. He's playing a character on the radio. Now, some of that may change and evolve over the years, but he said early on that that wasn't necessarily who he was. He found an audience where it worked. When you look at Donald Trump as a businessman for years, what he's saying now wasn't what he said 20 years ago. Could his attitudes have changed? Absolutely. Or did he find an audience to get to the goal, which was to be the President of the United States, knowing that if he served a certain audience, he could be a president for at least one term, maybe even two terms? Some people argue that that is more the point of what he's doing. He wanted a job, he wanted an impact, and so he played to an audience. Well, if you're only going after one specific audience, if you're not going after a broad-based audience, then go ahead and get as emotional as you want. Go ahead and get as extreme as you want. But I see too many friends in the media, in music, hitting a point where they're upsetting people and they're losing fans. Now, again, as I've always said, it's not to say you shouldn't take a stand. In fact, a lot of people say musicians should take a stand on politics. They should put it out there. And even though you're going to upset some people, you're going to build this base of people who are like-minded, who are with you, and it works all along the way. Of course, I come from a journalism background. I've been doing broadcasting and journalism my entire life, and what I found is it doesn't work for me to get in one corner. You won't see me get very political. I talk about political hot button topics, but not as to what I think, but as to what I see people around me think. See, a lot of my radio friends who host morning shows and things like that have gotten overly political, and they're running top 40, radio station morning shows, and they're running country music morning shows, but they're getting very political. Is it working? For some it is, but for some it's not. So I think you have to ask, is it really worth getting that emotional on social media? I know you're saying, well, if I just stay in the middle ground, nobody's going to pay attention. You find the right issues, the right topics to get emotional about. You find the right way to build your emotion, and it's going to help you in the long run. You try to stay away from the ones that are going to isolate you and put you in a corner, unless you're with the absolute majority. But then again, is it really worth selling your soul for that? Something to think about. Back next week, another No BS Social Media Chat. NoBSSocial.com, the website for all of our videos. You can find our website, intensitymedia.com. You can find my email address here coming up at the end of the video. Find my phone number if you want to chat more about this or any topic. We'd always love to chat with you. Back next week with another No BS Social Media Chat. Facebook, YouTube, on the website. We got them there for you. Don't care where you watch. Just love the fact that you are. Please tell a friend. Back next week, and thanks.